You hang up the phone with your mother and realize you spent the last 10 minutes talking a little slower, your sentences curling up at the ends, exactly the way hers do. The unsettling detail is that you never decided to do that. Your brain built a slightly different version of you to fit her, and it pulls this trick in every single room you walk into. Call a friend from your hometown, and old slang suddenly falls out of your mouth. Spend a weekend with someone who says literally before every sentence, and check your own vocabulary by Monday. You catch their laugh, you match their pauses, and you adopt their filler words. If your voice, your pacing, and your mannerisms constantly rearrange themselves around whoever is sitting across from you, it raises a question: who is actually steering? It can feel as though there is no stable you underneath, only a composite of whoever is in the room. In 1999, psychological researchers finally put a name to this universal habit. They simply called it the chameleon effect. They traced it to a specific neurological loop known as the perception-behavior link. To see an action is to already be halfway into performing it, because the visual processing center and the motor cortex share overlapping wiring. To catch this loop in action, researchers placed participants in a room with a stranger to work on a task. The stranger was instructed to either consistently rub their face or shake their foot. Sitting next to a face toucher, the participants' hands went up. Sitting next to a foot shaker, their legs started bouncing. When asked later, the participants had no idea they had mirrored the stranger at all. Evolution built a nervous system that leaks other people's physical habits into your own muscles without asking permission. While this reflex can feel like a glitch, researchers ran a second phase of the experiment to test the purpose of these leaked habits. This time, the undercover stranger deliberately copied the participants' posture and subtle movements throughout a conversation. When asked about the interaction afterward, the mirrored participants rated the stranger as more likable. They reported that the conversation felt smoother, even if they couldn't explain why they felt a connection. This is the mechanism of social glue. When bodies unconsciously match, they build a quiet bridge of safety and rapport before a single meaningful word is spoken. This chart shows how that rapport translates into action. In a charity donation test, the group that had been subtly mimicked gave double the amount of those who hadn't been copied. The effect extended to helpfulness. In a separate test, an experimenter accidentally dropped a handful of pens on the floor. The participants who had been mirrored moments earlier were significantly faster to help pick them up. Mirroring doesn't just change how you feel about one person. It shifts your perspective toward connection, making you more receptive to the needs of those around you. However, the brain does not run this belonging program equally for everyone. The data shows that the individuals who exhibit the most mimicry are the most empathetic. They are the people who clock a room's mood instantly and feel their way into others' experiences. So if you frequently absorb the personality of a friend group, you aren't being fake. That sponginess is your empathy functioning in real time. The direction of this mimicry also reveals the status hierarchy of a room, a concept known as upward accommodation. In a corporate meeting, a new hire will unconsciously adjust their speaking cadence to match the manager. The manager rarely matches the new hire. We converge our behavior toward the people we are reaching for. When we want to maintain distance, we do the opposite. We lean into divergence, exaggerating our own physical differences to signal that we are not part of a specific group. Physical mimicry acts as a continuous map of the invisible power lines in any room. It reveals who we want to be near and who we want to push away. This unconscious copying influences how we perceive the humanity of other people. When participants in one study were guided to physically mirror another person's facial expressions, they later attributed a richer, more complex emotional life to that person than those who didn't mirror. The inverse is seen when we encounter an outgroup. By stiffening our bodies and refusing to mirror their movements, we create a physical barrier. This lack of physical mimicry correlates with a decrease in empathy, making it easier to view those people as less capable of deep or tender feelings. The way you move in response to someone else is a subtle factor in how much of an inner life you allow them to have. This returns us to the worry that a shape-shifting personality means you lack a true identity. Psychological research offers a different perspective. Being mirrored shifts a person's identity toward an interdependent self, where they define themselves by their connections rather than their isolation. The human self is not a fixed, rigid stone. It is a fluid current that continuously adapts its shape to whatever it flows near. Your tendency to absorb the traits of others is the machinery of belonging running exactly as intended. Because your brain is an automatic sponge, the most significant decision you can make is the choice of your environment. Since you will naturally adopt the habits of your peers, you can influence who you become by spending time with people whose calmness or kindness you want to absorb. You are biologically designed to download the traits of the people around you. The choice of who you let into the room is the choice of what kind of person you will wake up as tomorrow.